Hello and welcome to another pen video from me, Penultimate Dave. So I have here another currently inked set of pens for this week, 10 inked up, so I think let's go through these briefly one by one. We'll go through them in a little bit more detail and then we'll do a writing sample. So from left to right we have a Conway Stewart Churchill in the blue Stardust, we have a Conway Stewart Churchill in the red Stardust, we have a TWSBI Vac 700R Iris, we have another TWSBI Vac 700R Iris, which both of those are pretty much on fumes now. We have an OMAS 360, and this has a specialty nib on it. We have a Twiss Pens Vulcano. We have an Esterbrook Camden Oktoberfest. We have an Atelier Lusso Andromeda in the Vulcan's Forge. We have a Scribo Fill, and this is in the blue-grey, and we have a Scribo Fill in the blue-black. So I think let's take a look at these pens inked up in a little bit more detail. So this is the Churchill from Conway Stewart. I really do love this beautiful blue, almost like a galaxy blue that you can see there in that body of the pen. Very quite captivating there. You can see it in the cap as well. You see it does sparkle quite a bit. So that is the blue Stardust there, and you can just see that there. Really does look like a galaxy. You have a Conway Stewart clip here as well. The Churchill is one of the larger, or the largest, I think, girthier pens from Conway Stewart, now bespoke British pens. It is a really, really lovely size pen. I can post the cap, but it becomes what I would say a bit of a wand, a little bit long. It does come with the 18 karat gold nib. If you buy them nowadays, this was the flag nib that they started selling. You now do get them with a Conway Stewart logoed nib. It is a cartridge converter pen. I do like it. I like these a lot. They were advertised as 18 karat gold flex nibs. They're not flex nibs. They are Bock 18 karat gold nibs. Flex typically are normally a 14 karat gold nib because they will have more bounce to them in general terms. I don't know why they were ever classed as, when I bought these, they were classed as flex nibs, but they're definitely not. Or I think they call them flex E nibs, flex Y, flex E nibs. This pen here, inked up, is again another Conway Stewart Churchill. This is the red Stardust. And again, beautiful, beautiful material there. You can just see how that sparkled. But you can see there, though, really, really beautiful material. Now, this is a really good size, just like the blue Stardust. I can post a cap, but it does become a bit too long for me. It does have an 18 karat gold number 6 size nib there, and it's a medium nib, and it is a cartridge converter pen. But for me, this actually is a great size. The next pen inked up is a TWSBI Vac 700R in the Iris. The Iris is this beautiful sort of rainbow-like torched effect going on there that you can actually see. Very, very nice. But this is a quite an interesting pen. I do like these. I've got, I think, 5 of these now. It is a power vac filling pen. You can see the ink capacity there. I don't have a huge amount of ink left in this one. This one is it's a medium nib there that you can see. M for medium. These are number 6 size Yovo nibs. You've got that torched effect on the nib as well. You can post the caps if you want to on these. These are pretty good pens, and I do find that if the cap seal on these are perfect. Same with the TWSBI Vac 580 ALs. They both have some very, very good cap seals so that the ink will not dry out. The next pen inked up here again is another TWSBI Vac 700R Iris. So again, you can see that flame torch effect going on there and on the cap band. Very, very nice pens. This one is running lower on ink actually than the other one. But again, really good cap seals. Has a number 6 size nib there, so that one is a broad nib. But in size of my hand, these are actually quite good. I can post the cap as well, and that actually does fit quite nicely in the palm of my hand. They do have a little bit of a step down and also prominent threads there. It doesn't bother me when I'm writing because my fingers are normally lower down, but I know some people do say that they dislike large step downs like that. The next pen inked up is this one, and it is an OMAS 360. I always wanted one of these in one of the translucent resins, but then, interestingly enough, I had a friend that had got one, and it stained because the resins that OMAS used were cotton resins, and this one's a cotton resin. So they're very susceptible to staining. So I'm actually glad that I didn't get a translucent cotton resin model in the end. But I got this one. So this is a grey cotton resin, but it is the 360. So it is a triangular pen through and through that you can see there. But it is a piston filling pen, and you would think that these sections are a little bit uncomfortable to hold, but I actually find it is actually quite nice because I rest my finger underneath my middle finger, and then my index finger here, and then my thumb here. Now this one is a specialty nib. It's an oblique medium nib from OMAS, or it was a Bock nib, ebonite feed. I do like this a lot. I've not written with it for some time. You can post the cap if you want to, and you're not going to activate that piston knob. I typically don't know, but I do find that even that size is actually a really decent size in my hand. It is a push-to-click cap, which, although I'm not normally a fan of those, it doesn't bother me. I typically prefer screw cap threads because I find that in a lot of cases, you get a better sort of seal so that your ink doesn't dry out as much or as quickly. The next pen inked up is this one, and it is a Twiss Pens Vulcano. Again, a beautiful pen. I got this at the Northern Pen Show one year. I believe it was 2018. And this, I was looking to go and buy a pen, and I came away almost without a pen, and at the end of the show I decided that I would buy this one. It was one I had my eyes on from the start of the show, and I just thought, you know what, this was my first time at the Northern Pen Show, and I thought I would just buy this, and I did. So it is actually quite a good size. It has a number 6 size Twiss logoed Yovo nib. I got it in a broad nib. It is a cartridge converter pen. The cap will post, but not that deeply. It's actually made of an aluminite, which is, aluminite, if you don't know, is a mix between resin and other types of material. But this is quite beautiful. It's quite a nice material. So I do like that pen a lot. I wrote with it last week, actually. Had it inked up last week. Got it inked up this week as well. The next pen is an Esterbrook No, it's not an Esterbrook Esti. I keep wanting to say Esterbrook Esti. It's an Esterbrook Camden Oktoberfest. And this is a beautiful autumnal cracked ice effect going on here. I do like it a lot. It really is quite nice. You've got the Esterbrook X logo there. It is an interesting pen. It does taper down very thin towards the what would be the end cap there. You can post the cap, but look at this. If I do this and push this on, oh, it's actually gone on now. But it will spring back because it's got there you go, an inner clutch mechanism. So you do have to push it on quite hard to have that post. It does have a number 6 size Esterbrook logoed Yovo nib there. I got this in a medium. I could only get this in, I think it was an extra fine, or a medium. I I really wanted a broad, but medium was probably the best I could get it in, so I got it in a medium. But I do find this writes a little bit more towards a fine. It is a cartridge converter. I do find though that this is a metal thread with resin. I've actually exhausted all of that, so it's going to be interesting to see if I still have ink left in that feed mechanism there. I do find that screws on very tightly though, so I do need to be a bit careful. I don't want that to crack. I don't know if all of the Esterbrook Camdens are like that or if it's just mine. I only have one. I'd be interested to hear if you have an Esterbrook Camden. Do you find that screwing the body onto the section is really tight, or is it actually nice and easy? The next pen inked up is an Atelier Lusso. You can see Alpha Lusso there. If I show you there, Alpha Lusso. This is the Andromeda. It's the Vulcan's Forge, I call it. I think that's actually the material that I actually ordered for this. I had this custom made by Eric at Atelier Lusso, or lussopens.com. It's got a Yovo number 6 size broad steel nib there. I think now he actually engraves his logo on there. I think he gets Jonathan Brooks at the Carolina Pen Company to engrave some logos on nibs now. It is a cartridge converter pen. It is a flat top pen. It's a very cylindrical pen, so you can't post the cap. It's not designed to do so, but I do think it's actually quite a nice size. The sections are a little bit more on the thinner side. I think there's around about 9mm, and or maybe even 7 actually. I do find that they are. It's probably as thin as I would want to go in a pen. I wouldn't want to go much thinner than that, to be honest. The reason why I say that is that the thinner the section, normally I find that I grip or death grip the pen, so that then creates hand cramp or hand fatigue for me. If it's a wider section, I typically don't. If it's a heavier pen, I typically don't either. The next pen inked up is a Scribo fill, and I've not inked this blue-grey one up for a long time. It was my first Scribo fill, and you can see here it should say fill the writing. Scribo there as well. I do like these faceted pens from Scribo. I do like the other more exotic resins, or when I say exotic, more busier resins rather than plain resins. But this is actually quite an interesting one. It's 14 karat gold extra flex or flexibile nib. I got it in a medium nib with an ebonite feed. It is a piston filling pen. You can't post the caps on the fills. You really don't need to. They are actually quite long. So for me, I find I don't need to post the cap on those. So I've not ridden with that one for some time, so I decided I'd ink that one back up, and also the blue black as well. Again, I've not sort of written with this for a very long time. I think really because it's just a very dark blue pen. I do like the 14 karat gold medium flex nibs on these though, with the ebonite feed. Again, you can't post a cap really. It's not designed to do so. But they just feel really nice in my hand. So they are piston filling pens and hold around about 1 to 1.2 milliliters of ink. And these are born out of the old ex-OMAS. The employees from Scribo, when OMAS shut its doors, decided to set up and make pens themselves, and under the brand Scribo, or Scrittura Bolognese. So there you have it. That's my 10 pens currently inked for this week. I think let's now go and do a writing sample. So the first pen inked up this week is the Conway Stewart Churchill in blue Stardust. So we'll do an ink swatch here. But this is an interesting colour. A little bit more on the greener side than blue, probably. So this is the Conway Stewart blue Stardust in a medium 18 karat gold nib. And the ink in here is Diamine Aqua Lagoon. But that, to me, is actually quite a nice blue ink. The next pen inked up is a Conway Stewart Churchill Red Stardust. We'll do an ink swatch. And this is a very, very beautiful red ink. Really think it matches this pen very well. I can't remember what reds I've had in this pen, but I've always thought that most of them didn't match it as well as this. So this is the Conway Stewart. I probably have to look back at other currently inks. Red Stardust. And these are actually Churchills. I've actually not written Churchill here actually. This is a medium 18 karat gold nib, because you can get these in other models as well. I've got the Red Stardust in the Series 100 as well. And then the ink in here is Diamine Poppy Red, which is a very vibrant red, punchy red ink that I really do enjoy writing with. The next pen inked up is a TWSBI Vac 700R Iris. So we'll do an ink swatch. And this is another turquoisey coloured ink that I like. So this is a TWSBI Vac 700R Iris in a medium, and it's a steel Yovo nib. And then the ink in here is Van Vistus Aqua di Spargi. And in English terms, you normally do AQUA, but the Italians do ACQUA, I believe. Or at least that's how the Italian ink is actually spelled. The next pen is a TWSBI Vac 700R Iris again. So we'll do an ink swatch here. Now this is a broad nib. So this is a TWSBI Vac 700R Iris in a broad, again, it's still Yovo nib. And then the ink in here is Diamine Mistletoe, which I believe is the blue ink vent edition. It's actually a nice Christmassy ink that I will use. Very dark green. A little bit like Diamine Sherwood green, I would say. The next pen here is an OMAS 360. So we'll do an ink swatch. And this is a specialty nib. And I didn't have the choice. It was just, I bought this second hand at the time. So this is an OMAS 360, and it is an oblique medium nib. And it is an 18 karat gold nib. And then the ink in here is Diamine Earl Grey. Now, I could probably ink it up with a lighter grey ink if I wanted to, but typically that is an ink that I will ink up that pen with. The next pen inked up is the Twiss Pens Vulcano. So we'll do an ink swatch here. Now, this is a broad nib, so it will put down a broader line. So this is the Twiss Pens Vulcano with a broad Yovo steel nib. And the ink in here is Diamine Wild Strawberry. But that is a nice coloured ink. The next pen is an Esterbrook, and I'm not going to say Esty. No, it's the Camden in the Oktoberfest. So we'll do an ink swatch. And this really is running low on ink. You saw that the converter was empty. So this is the Esterbrook Camden. And it's the Oktoberfest. And it's a medium, and it's a still Yovo nib. And then the ink in here is a Dominant Industries Colt pens. So Dominant Industry Colt pens, and it's Autumn Sunlight, which is quite a nice ink. It is a shimmer ink, but I'm not getting much shimmer out of this because I didn't really shake the bottle when I went to ink that pen up. The next pen is an Atelier Lusso Andromeda, and this is in the Vulcan's Forge. So we'll do an ink swatch. And I probably just need to actually, I've not written with this much this week, so I probably do need to just flush or prime that converter a little bit. So this is the Atelier Lusso Andromeda in the Vulcan's Forge. And I just noticed I've got a hair on that nib actually. It's actually stuck quite hard actually, that right between the nib and the feed. Andromeda, and it's the Vulcan's Forge. And it is a broad, and it's a still Yovo nib. And then the ink in here is Diamine Blaze Orange, which is a lovely bright orange ink. The next pen here is a Scribo Fill, and this is in the blue grey. So we'll do an ink swatch. And I probably could go with a lighter grey, but I typically go with this grey. So this is the Scribo Fill in the blue grey. Or is it grey blue? I think it's a blue grey. And it's a medium, and it's a 14 karat gold flex nib, or extra flexibile, and the ink in here is Diamine Earl Grey, which I do have inked up in the OMAS 360 there as well. And then the last pen inked up is a Scribo Fill in the blue black. So we'll do another ink swatch here. And I'm going to resist going for a midnight blue, dark blue black ink. Try and go with a lighter blue. So this is the Scribo Fill in the blue black. And it is a medium, and again a 14 karat gold nib. And then the ink in here is Pelican, Edelstein, Topaz. But I do like that Topaz ink, and I did, the end of 2022, I did buy another bottle of that. So I think let's take a look at these pens inked up one more time. We have a Conway Stewart Churchill in the blue Stardust with a medium 18 karat gold nib, inked up with Diamine Aqua Lagoon. We have a Conway Stewart Churchill Red Stardust in a medium 18 karat gold nib, inked up with Diamine Poppy Red. We have a TWSBI Vac 700R Iris in a medium steel nib, inked up with Venvistus Aqua di Spargi. We have another TWSBI Vac 700R Iris in a broad steel nib, inked up with Diamine Mistletoe. We have an OMAS 360 with an oblique medium 18 karat gold nib, inked up with Diamine Earl Grey. We have a Twiss Pens Vulcano in a broad steel nib, inked up with Diamine Wild Strawberry. We have an Esterbrook Camden Oktoberfest in a medium steel nib inked up with Dominant Industry Colt Pens Autumn Sunlight. We have an Atelier Lusso Andromeda in the Vulcan's Forge in a broad steel nib inked up with Diamine Blaze Orange. We have a Scribo Feel Blue Grey in a medium 14 karat gold nib inked up with Diamine Earl Grey. And we have a Scribo Feel Blue Black in a medium 14 karat gold nib inked up with Pelican Edelstein Topaz. So there you have it. That's my currently inked pens for this week. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next pen video. Bye bye.